Odd. There we go. Boom. So did they say why she has the jersey yet?
No, I have it on mute.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah, this VNL broadcast, they don't do closed captioning either.
that's what I was just going to say. Yeah, they don't.
Right. Just kind of odd considering we pay for it and everything.
I know. Oh, that's not the start you want if you're U.S. Canada's the worst. So who are you rooting for?
I'm torn. My heart is for Canada just because that's where I'm from. We live here now, but and also Shino's on the pod, and got to sort of
I
root for her too.
yeah.
Now you've played or you've coached against a couple of these ladies, right? During the season,
Um, I'm trying to think who I would have coached against.
Asia O'Neil, did she play?
We never played Texas when I was at
Oh,
USC.
okay.
We never faced each other. So
But during the
um,
PVF,
during the PVF, yep. So Morgan is on this roster. We'll see
yeah,
if Morgan gets any playing time this week. And that's about it. Um, Everybody else is in Turkey or Italy for the most part, except for Jordan and
yeah.
Holter. I kind of I mean I want USA to win because I want their rankings to go up, but like I think it would be so cool if Canada qualified for the Olympics. So
After the week they had last week, I hope they keep the momentum going.
that's a bad thing. And I like them. I think they're fun to watch.
Yep, they have fun, and there's some,
Yeah.
they can pound the ball too. Who really surprised me? I guess I can't say really surprised me, but I was really impressed by from Brazil that girl, outside hitter Gabby.
Oh, she is so good. Yeah. Don't be surprised by her. She's like one of the best players in the
Okay,
world. But she's just the more I've kind of gotten to watch like the pro leagues and even like PVF this year and seeing a lot of the international players that wanted to join PVF, like it's pretty evident that the majority of the US athletes are bigger and physical than
yeah,
everywhere else in the world. And Gabi is a great example of that. Like she's not super physical, but she's a great jumper. Her arm is like wicked fast. So she finds a way to score. Talk about physical. Alexa Gray is so good. She is fun to watch. They all are.
yeah. It is all around. It's a good team. That other one, Van Ryk, I think it is Van Kirk or something like that. She can.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. When she gets going,
Well, it's nice to see Dana in the lineup. I do think maybe I am reading too much into it, but I'm curious if the US will be a little behind just because they didn't all play together
mm-hmm.
last week, where, Canada has had a week to iron out some of their lineup stuff with that L2 position, and everybody just got in the groove a little bit more. But I don't know, it's a very talented squad. Like Canada can't let that stuff fall, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
And now, there was some discussion about the team that they put in last week, or was it 2 weeks ago? What was was it controversial? Not controversial, but did they not bring an A squad with them?
I don't know how you say it's not their whole A squad when Jordan Poulter's there and Jordan Larson's there and Justine is there. Like all of those guys are such great anchors
Yeah.
for the team. And I think Karch has to look at some other options. There there is player 9 through 12 that maybe isn't established yet. And when else are you going to get a chance to watch them if not in the VNL? There's just not that many tournaments leading up to the Olympics this summer, and
Yeah.
I know that he has some hard decisions to make in terms of depth chart. So I think what we see after this weekend will be really telling. Like if Avery Skinner is with them again in weekend 3, I would be surprised if she doesn't make the Olympic roster. But she's now on the court with Catherine Plummer, and Kalia Lanier is going to be there. And so it's a lot of moving pieces that I think he's just trying to figure out. But
Hmm.
I don't think it's controversial. All right, what are they? Oh, net violation, but no net touch.
I love the voice. I love when they put the mic on during the timeout. And, it's a touch of Canada when we hear her speak. It's like, oh, she's saying out and about, and it's a little
Yeah,
touch of.
she gets pumped up. I like her a lot. I like the camera work by VNL.
Yes.
Well, no one's stopping that.
Nope. Yeah, last week Canada had a tough time running their middles. They got shut down a lot. Mind you, it was against Brazil too, so that
Yeah.
was.
I think that libero is probably their weakest position, Canada. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I would not be surprised if just statistically, I mean, I haven't pulled up any stats, but they're, one of the worst top 10 passing teams right now of the group that's in the top 10. They're
Yeah.
one of the worst. So makes sense why they couldn't run their middle too much.
Still kind of weird looking at Shina with the libero jersey.
I know. But I'll tell you, like in practice, she'll be like, "Let me get passing reps, coach." I'm like, okay, Shy, whatever you want to do today.
Yeah.
she's she's a hard worker.
Yeah, she has a fun. She when she was on the podcast, she was talking about when she played in Japan. She had a Brazilian coach, and his best advice was to make love to the ball as if you're passing it, and just the way she just can deliver something. Yes, she's so funny.
She's a good storyteller.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, not close. Make love to the pass.
Yeah.
Some would say that's good technique. It's certainly not bad.
No.
But that makes a lot of sense why she passes the way she does. Oh,
it's a great save.
Is a great rundown.
Now, is the U.S. they're locked in for the Olympics? Now it's just a matter of whether they place third, second, or first.
Yeah, pretty much. So all of the tournaments are for rankings at this point, and that's why these are so important to Canada, because they've got to move up in a high enough slot where their ranking gets them like an at-large bid.
Mm-hmm.
And they're close. I mean, last week that was big foot fault. Yeah, they're really close right now. I think they would be in if it were to end today. So go Shannon. Dana Retke has such a good serve.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh. Can you imagine like 6-7 just down
over
on your serve?
Yep. And again, yeah, just yeah, it is on a women's net too. Also, you know,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, I was watching it might have been the USA men's the other day, and Ahen, my husband, was like, "You never see like the trickle balls fall in the men's game," and I'm like, "Because the net is higher.
right.
There's more time for that ball to fall down." That's at least the excuse I made for us.
It is. It's
Meanwhile,
such a
these
different game to
matches,
watch.
the men,
Yes.
yeah, it's I don't know, so physical, so fast. It's really, to me, I think it's really fun that they can play that
Hmm.
way. And
Just
when they
picking
come
up
up
the
with the
serve.
dig, you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
the serve. Now our streams synced up to the same time.
Yes.
I learned the other day that in other countries, some networks buy from VBTV to get it streamed on to
Oh.
local
Yeah.
networks so that it's actually getting like TV time.
That's great.
I think that's great. I mean, it would be so awesome if, I don't know, ESPN or somebody picked these up and we were getting to see these matches on our TV. But
Right. Just from the exposure standpoint on how well the college, you know, championships went this past season, and with PVF, it just keeps, you know, it would be a great snowball effect.
yeah. Yeah, I hope that this year, just with the Olympics, NCAA continuing to go, two pro leagues starting in the fall, like there will just be more and more and more coverage
Yep.
and get it on the socials. And I think the WNBA is a great example of that. And I like obviously want the WNBA to be successful. I want all women's sports too, but I also don't want them to hog all of the network time.
Right.
So
Oh.
there's got to be room for all of us.
Yep. You know, it's amazing at this level that donut hole or whatever the fire pit, whatever you want to call it, is still a, you know, a great spot for people to drop the ball.
The donut, the campfire.
Yeah.
What else has there been? Oh my gosh, I'm sure there's so many names that people call it that I don't even know. But I think it's the speed of the game. Like your defense isn't always getting stopped. Those hitters are barreling in at as
Mm-hmm.
fast as they can go. And so yeah, you get stuck on your heels. And
Yep.
obviously every coach is like, don't be on your heels. But live and even from experience, I can tell you sometimes it's just not that easy. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're so ready for that ball to be hard driven. And if the block isn't there and there's an opening that you think that can be hidden, like you kind of dig that first.
Yep.
So but yeah, it's a good shot at every level. That
Oh.
that was like a back row attack to me. Catherine is so strong.
Mm-hmm. 100 kilometers an hour. That's not bad.
What is that in
That's
miles?
about 75, I think.
Oh, easy.
Or maybe 70 kilometers. 100. Yeah, I think close to probably 70. Because I think when you hit 80 is about almost 120.
Oh,
It's that metric system. And now at your level, at the professional level, are your players doing the split step that all the club coaches are trying to teach the kids and everything like that? You grin.
uh, hot take.
Hot take. All right, here we go.
The split step has been around since 1990. Like
This
it's
base
not.
started with baseball, right?
Yeah, it started with every sport, any sport you ever played, the split step was a thing. And so it's funny to see it with this like popularity in this term, and like shout out to Dustin Watton for like making a whole business off of it and doing some phenomenal work like educationally online. I think it's like really cool. but we just used to call it the pre-hop. And so it is. We used it in basketball, we used it in baseball and softball a bunch. But my club, even back in the day, you did your pre-hop, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what your prep was. And so it's to me, it's just funny because I don't think it's this like magical new thing that is happening, but there's certainly an emphasis on it. So yes, we use it, but I don't think that we have to train it that
Yeah.
much because they're all kind of doing it naturally. And I think a lot of naturally gifted athletes do it anyway because they know that's kind of how they're balanced and how they get prepped and ready to go.
Yeah. Some form of it, whether it's like leaning or just something to get
Yeah.
yourself ready to prep it.
Yeah.
And now,
then
oh,
wonder
sorry.
like how many of the clubs are actually teaching it wrong. Because there is a way to do it wrong. Like if you are hopping and stepping at the wrong times,
Right.
or you're totally guessing and leaning in the wrong direction, then you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
And so just like all teaching things at the club level, I hope that those coaches are also doing the work to make sure that they're educating themselves to teach things properly. But I love that people are exploring new ways, and there's a million ways to skin a cat.
Yeah.
So
Well, and just like the whole, chasing down a ball and instead of going for the dive, hook it with your hands. That whole, sort of, it's like, as long as you know how to roll, that's good. But if you don't know how to roll, that's not probably a good way to, a good technique.
no, my coaches tried to get me like to barrel roll, and then there was shoulder rolling for a long time. And I'm like, I'm just gonna whatever my body does to get the ball up is what I'm going to do. I think I was a little lucky because I was a gymnast for a
Yeah.
long time. So
Okay.
just like body control was easy.
Mm-hmm.
But I love trying to teach the middles how to dive. That one's always fun.
Oh,
Never seen them so uncoordinated.
those poor middles.
Oh yeah, Kaz, MK, and Abby this year. We had some practices where it was only about middle defense for about 20 minutes. So probably not their most fun practice, but actually everybody loves to be punished for some reason.
Yeah.
So
It's just that hunger that they want to just be the best,
yeah.
probably.
Adora and Shina, their like eyes would light up when I was like, okay, it's defense day. They're like, yeah. They're weird.
Oh,
But I get it because I think I was the same way when I was a player. Like whatever's the hardest, and
yeah.
it's fun, and it's fun to make things challenging.
Did Shina ever share with you how she ended up getting recruited for Florida?
Yes, a little bit. It's so random and so cool, and shout out to her club too for continuing to like help her pursue those opportunities.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was
So
fate a little bit.
absolutely, yeah. Somebody else sent down their tape trying to get recruited to Florida, and Mary saw Shina in the background pounding some balls. Like, oh,
Who's that girl?
right, yeah, yeah. Uh, so you never know what camera's recording you, and you never, you may get
Yeah.
recruited without you even knowing it.
I wonder what kind of tape was sent because
Mm-hmm.
Shina played in like 2015 or 16, something like that. So no way they were on were they doing DVDs back then?
I don't know. So if she was at Florida at 16, maybe 14, nah, I don't know. Maybe on that borderline.
Yeah, so right around there, I
Yeah.
feel like YouTube was like just getting popular with recruiting videos.
Yeah.
And at least it would be like, okay, you email your YouTube link and you coaches watch 5 seconds of it and make their decision whether they want to
Mm-hmm.
continue watching. So that's my favorites. People are like, here's a 5-minute recruiting video of me. I am not going to watch all 5 minutes of
No.
that.
No, I can't imagine.
30 seconds max. Keep my attention.
Right. Yeah, because you got to think of how many other videos you're getting sent, and you've trying to find that diamond in the rough.
Yeah, yeah, and you like there's certain skills that are going to stick out right away.
Mm-hmm.
We can tell if you can jump or if you can hit the ball hard, or if you're a libero, what does your platform look like in those videos? And so I think people try to overcomplicate it. Like
Yeah.
just send your highlight, and if we want, we'll come watch you play longer than that.
So with that being said, you just said, libero, that's one of the things you look for is where their platform is, how they're, that's sort of the quick things like, okay. And you're like, all right, it's not, it's not going to be fixable. So we'll just move on.
Yeah, a lot of it is like posture,
Yeah.
like how they are when they actually pass the ball. Is there a lot of like movement or swinging, or do they have some things that look like they just can't fix by working on training?
Mm-hmm.
But I've also had a libero that no matter what you teach her, she's going to do it her way, and the ball is going to go to target. So
Yeah.
those are the ones. Like liberos are hard because when they send you a highlight video, all of the passes go to target. And so as a coach, like you just need to make a decision. Do you see something on there that sparks your interest to go watch them live? And then I always found that recruiting and evaluating liberos was one of the hardest,
Mm-hmm.
because then you're at their club games, no one serves the libero. So then you're looking at, okay, how much court space can they really take up? Are they kind of shifting things around in the back row to get them on the ball? And how are they moving defensively? And then can you get them to a camp? Like if you really like them, then you can get them to one of your camps and you can blitz them with balls. You can,
Yeah.
put them in some serve receive patterns that might make them uncomfortable to really figure out what their natural tendencies are. And if the ball, at the end of the day, does the ball go to target? Like
Yeah.
that's the most important thing. So
Yeah. I had Kirsten Booth from Creighton on a couple of weeks ago, and she had an interesting take I hadn't heard before, was about, what she wants to see when she goes to see, one of her players is, let me see how they react when they get pulled out. Let me see how they react when, they interact with their parents on the sidelines after, because if they're going to be a brat to their parents, they're going to be a brat to me, and I'm their mama while they're away. I was like, oh, you know what? That's very good.
yeah, I think that's true. And Kirsten's been doing this so long. I feel like she knows all of the little tricks and trades about how to get good people into her program. Because
Mm-hmm.
whether she'll admit it or not, I'm sure she's had some bad eggs go through there, and she's kind of learned what to recognize during that process. And so I think, yeah, the parent thing is huge. Like, how do they talk to their parents? Or I always looked at, when you walk by their court and they're off, what are they doing? Are
Yeah.
they talking to their teammates? Are they helping the coaches with lines or whatever needs? Or are they just sitting on their phone, not talking to anybody with their sweatshirt over their head? And I don't know. I like big personalities, so
Yeah.
that would be tough for me. I feel like every time Canada gets right back in the picture, they make two errors to let the game
Yeah.
go. Here, so they're
They battle back, and then it's just like they loosen up a little bit. I don't know. They give it away.
yeah.
And they did that last week too. They had to battle back a bunch of times, or 2 weeks ago when they played.
Hmm. High error team.
Yeah. Oof.
That passing doesn't help.
No.
Oh no. That's just nerves to me.
Well, it is a home game for the U.S. In Arlington.
I was hoping to see more butts in the stands.
Yeah. I saw some posts or some tweets that the prices were kind of jacked up a little bit, which is kind of disappointing.
I had heard that also. Like, just get the people there.
Right. It's
It was
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, earlier today, Japan and Brazil played. That was a good match to watch.
I didn't watch that one, actually. Who won?
I had to skip
Oh,
out when it was tied 1-1. I don't know who ended up winning that. Now, was it you that's telling me that Brazil hadn't qualified yet? Or was it Cuba? I can't.
Cuba men's hadn't qualified
Okay,
yet,
yes.
I don't think. Yeah,
That
Brazil
surprised me.
women are in. I wish they would have gone back and replayed the last US kill from the end line, because we were talking about liberos,
Mm-hmm.
and Justine is pinching Catherine Plummer out so well. She's taking so much court from them. I love an end line view. That's a coach in me.
Yeah, because you see everything, how
Yeah.
everyone's reacting on a defense, and
Oh,
there we go. Well, the Canada's keeping it close,
I would not be surprised if Canada won this set. They've been very good in the last 5 points of every set. Wow, that serve was gnarly.
Yeah.
Timeout,
Yep,
US.
timeout. So now, take it to your situation. You're 23, 22, you're up. What are you telling your team right now?
Probably just redefining who that seam is for that serve between Jordan and Plummer. And then I know like US, like you can see Aaron talking to the setters, Aaron Virtue. So we'd be doing something similar, talking about what we want to run out of this timeout, maybe give them some stats of who's been successful in this rotation, and just kind of give them a clear picture of who to set, whether it's a perfect pass or a medium ball. We talk about our outlets a lot. Hey, if we're not in system, here's who's hitting the best on those bad balls right now. Yeah, Justine is passing half the court. Not that they're going to serve it in that direction. Yep. So
All right,
that's.
here we go. Oh, here's a huge block.
Wow. That was a gift.
Yep.
To the U.S. because they did not deserve to win that point.
No, not after that free ball.
Oh. I just think Dana is so long. She's hard to run a middle attack against unless you're really, really spreading your pins.
There's a.
She can just stick her arms up there and get some block touches. That was a great serve too. I think they'll show the stats, but I think Canada is passing really poorly.
And that's the way they started their first week of VNLs off too. Just started, it was a tough game against Brazil, if I remember correctly, and it took them a set to get going. So we'll see if that continues, that trend for them.
Yeah, and if like Karch is probably so pleased with their serving, the U.S. serving, because last week I thought they had a lot of misses.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of their MO. They're okay with misses as long as they're good aggressive misses.
Yeah.
But if you watched and listened to a lot of the timeouts, I think every coach talks about this, but it was just evident with them. Their misses were in the net, and you can't miss in the net because there's no opportunity. If you miss long or you miss maybe, to that sideline, it's making the player think about, do they have to play that ball? And when you hit in the net, it's just so deflating. It's like, you didn't make them work for anything.
Right. And that was the problem with the US the men's team. They put so many into the net on their serves. It was but you're so right. Like, at least if it goes over, if it's long, there's that decision. I don't know. You may catch them. You don't know, but
or like we say, hit them high. You want to hit them high all the time and make that player open up. And every once in a while, it'll just happen where like they don't get out of the way fast enough, or they don't make that decision, and you'll catch them. So that, I thought that was an exceptional serving performance from the U.S. I think everything else was probably pretty equal. They outblocked them 3-1, I believe, with that Dana block there at the end. And I don't know, that's kind of what I would expect from the U.S. Serve and defend.
Yeah. So now in between the match here, you had your first season as a head coach and with the PVF. How was it?
I thought it was great. I mean, I would have liked to win more games.
Yes. But you had so many 5-setters too at the same time, and a huge road trip that you had built into this, that season.
Yeah, we had 2 7 or 8 day road trips during the season. So that was tough. One early on, and then one this second to last weekend of play. And at that point, it was hard. But yep, we lost 50% of our matches in 5 sets and 50% of our 5-setters within 2 or 3 points. So we were really close. The team kind of stuck with me the whole season, which I appreciated. And they're a great group. They always played hard. I just think we had some deficiencies in our roster, and our offense took a turn somewhere in the middle of the season, and we couldn't get back on track no matter how much we worked on it. And so big learning lesson for me, and how to kind of cultivate practice, and maybe how to identify some things a little bit faster. And I thought we did. So we we started the season off playing Omaha 4 times and Atlanta 3 times. And at one point we looked at our record and we were 4-8.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, we're 4-8, but we're 4-1 against the middle of the pod. Like, we had a win over Grand Rapids, we had a win over Columbus. And so these other teams are just, Omaha and Atlanta are like our arch nemesis. Like, we could not get over the hump with them.
Yeah.
And so we identified some things to go into an away trip, which was Columbus and Grand Rapids. And we ended up going 2-0 on the road. It was a great trip. We come back, I think we were 7-8 at that point. And, I kind of thought that the tables turned for us and we were going to go on this long streak, this winning streak. It was finally going our way. And I think we just got too comfortable being back at home.
Yeah.
We were on the road for a month straight.
Wow.
So we came home in between some of those trips, but we played a match on February 10th, and our next home game was March 11th.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah. And I think, looking back, like, I learned so much about mentality and how to talk to the team through some of those things, and maybe how to manage some of that road stretch, that when we got home, we were gassed. And I kept telling them in practice, like, we always talk about practice, how we play. Like, you guys aren't going to feel good about yourselves if you keep practicing this way. It's going to hurt on Thursday when we play. And of course, we had an awful practice Wednesday before we played Grand Rapids. And I'm also like positive Pauly a little bit. And so I'm like, all right, I know that we always talk about practice, how we play, but like tomorrow, like, just be ready to go. Like, you can turn it on when we get to the match tomorrow. And we got our butts handed to us in Grand Rapids at home. And I think they battled back. They always kind of were in the fight, and then we lost in 5 on Sunday at home. And I just think it was this dagger of, you can't beat any of the top teams. You're on the road.
Yeah.
You come back home, you're tired, and you can't get over the hump at home. And it's hard. Like, that was really, really tough on them mentally.
Yeah.
And I am not one for making excuses, but I think the schedule didn't do us any favors.
Oh, yeah.
And if we were home one of those times, or we played San Diego early instead of playing them late 3 times at home, maybe that would have given us a confidence boost or something like that along the way. And like I said, I learned from it. I think every player learned from it. And so next year, you just, 1, hope you don't get as tragic of a schedule. And 2, treat it a little bit differently when you do kind of hit those stretches. So.
Yeah, a whole month to go between games. That's hopefully that won't happen next year.
Yeah. I think one of those road trips, we were gone for 7 days. We played 3 matches in 7 days, and then it would be like, we come home for 3 days, we get on a plane. We come home for 3 days, you get on a plane, and you're just constantly repacking your suitcase. You're not getting great rest. Like, you're probably
there's no routine.
I'm making a little bit of assumptions, but like, how are you going grocery shopping and cooking when you're only home for 3 days? So like, what are you really fueling yourself with during that stretch? And like I said, learning lesson, and don't do it again.
Yeah.
But overall, the season was great. I mean, I loved it. I think the PVF league and every team that, since we all are franchised, like, every team has their own marketing and game management and production, and everywhere we went was so fun, so awesome. Every arena did a great job.
Excellent.
So kudos to them for throwing it together in the time span that we had. But it was really fun.
Excellent. And you guys have like this, mullet guy who you guys made famous as, for wiping up the floor.
Yes, our towel guy.
That's it. Yes.
Invited to Omaha to see the
No way. Was he really?
Yeah, they were like, go to Omaha.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was funny. Yeah.
Excellent.
The crowd really rallied behind him. So
excellent. All right, so we got Canada up 5-3 right now. So this is, let's see if they keep going and they don't let up this time.
Yeah, grabbing a couple more of those blocks. I mean, that was a tough one for Plummer, but I think they need to find a way to just score one or two more points. They're not going to do it like they're not going to do it from attacking. So can they get another ace or come up with a block in some of those out of system
Yeah.
situations? And then just Catherine turns around and does that. So she's so talented. Chow. Oh, I thought they were calling timeout. It's nice to see Jordan back in the lineup. Thompson, because I think she had a little bit of an injury in Turkey this past year too. Oh, that's a bad error.
Yes. And now, did some of the professional leagues go longer than the others, and that's why we just saw, or it really came down to championships, why we didn't see some of the players just start showing up later in the season?
For which team?
For VNL, sorry.
No, actually, the most of the leagues except for PVF, because we had a little bit of a snafu this year, they all end earlier.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. So, I want to say most of them had the goal of finishing up before April 28th. That seemed to be like the report day for the national teams. So they all make an effort to be done so that you can report to your team. I think the first week of VNL is always a little bit of a crapshoot in terms of like who's gonna get invited from your 30-person roster and gonna bring.
Yeah, I didn't know the rosters were that big. I thought, hey, that's the U.S. team, but no, there's like, there's 30 people.
Yeah, and 30 good ones.
Right.
I would love to know how many countries actually could call up player 28 through 30 on their roster and be competitive in these matches.
Yeah, and that's what we saw with the men's team last week. You had you didn't see Eric or Taylor or Micah. It was just they stayed home and the men did okay. They won their last match, but that's a full strong field of 30 talented guys.
That men's team was babies.
Yes. Except for Cody. Cody Kessel is the only, he's like the senior guy there.
Yeah, Tuininga has some experience out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just had some guys on the floor that graduated. Like, I'm blanking on his name. Chamberlain, one of the UCLA outsides was there, and I'm like, you literally are just graduating college, and so. The men's team already announced their roster, so they know who they're bringing. So I think it was really cool to get this group some experience and get under their belt, because the group that's going this year, I don't know how many of them we will see in LA.
Yeah.
They're getting old.
They are getting old, but volleyball is one of those sports where the older it's a higher IQ with the guys that are in their 30s, lower 30s, and that that will succeed.
And I think not how the game is played, but we talked about this a lot with our players and comments that they've made about, because there's more sports science, there's more emphasis on nutrition and taking care of yourselves, your careers can last longer. You're not just pounding the pavement day in and day out, like you're actually getting some help, and I think being able to sustain for longer in your career, and the floors are a lot nicer.
Yes. Yeah. And now you even had a player. She was in her late 30s.
Audi Cruz.
Yes.
Oh, she would kill me. She's 42.
Oh.
Yeah.
But being 42 playing, that's like a Tom Brady.
That's what I called her. I was like, you're the Tom Brady of volleyball. And she was great to have. I mean, just her leadership and her experience. And we were one of the youngest teams in terms of like how many rookies we had on the floor sometimes. And we kept all of our rookies. I think we might have been the only team that actually did that. So that was a great, I hope it was a great experience for them. But we needed that leadership and somebody that's gone through it before. And she's still a great volleyball player too. I mean, she's certainly not as physical as she used to be, but she has great ball control skills. It's so funny to watch how much smarter she is than
Mm-hmm.
everybody else. Like she knows where the ball is going 10 minutes before my libero even. The libero is just faster, so she can get over there.
Right.
Or we'll play some games where they have to like tool certain ways, and she just has every tool in her toolkit. So
Yeah.
it was fun to have her around. Oh, that would have been a nice ace,
Yes,
but
that would have. And there we go. You know, the U.S. is up two. Where yeah, just they can't. Canada can't get over that hump and get build a good lead
yeah.
and hold it.
It's hard to score real points against the US.
Yeah.
They're so big. Oh, middle's defending.
Oh, set it up.
Oh, anything you can do, I can do better.
Yeah.
Jordan knows it too. She's smirking. Oh, I love that.
They were so flat-footed on that. Oh.
I hope we get to see Haley Washington play a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. Maybe not tonight because they're playing pretty well, but oh, come on.
Canada just can't keep it in.
No.
So
Yeah,
many
they're
hitting
going for
errors.
those high hands and just missing by inches. Challenging touch.
And
Oh,
speaking of the touch, now this is the same system you guys had in place, right? With Bolt 6?
yeah, it was so great. Like it took a couple games to
Mm-hmm.
get affiliated, and not even just me. Like the team would turn and yell at me like, "That was in. Challenge it. It was in." I'm like, I can't. And so at first it was like, okay, I can't challenge it. Like, let's move on. And then it was, it's AI. Like, you're not smarter than a computer. So everybody just get over it and move on.
Yep.
But it was definitely an adjustment. Hitting the things on the tablet is an adjustment. We had to switch it up as a coaching staff of how we were doing it at
Mm-hmm.
first. Because I would be like running over to the tablet and I'm like, that's a waste of time.
Right.
But it was cool to have. I think it makes the game go so smooth, so quick. The challenges are so fast, and we all know from watching college, it takes way too long
Mm-hmm.
at the NCAA. So I have heard that the Big Ten is going to implement Hawkeye,
Oh,
which
okay.
is I don't think it's as accurate as Bolt 6 maybe. Like I think you still have line judges. I'm not quite sure, but at least for the challenge system, I know it's going to be really great and the camera quality will be better. So
Yeah.
I need to freshen up on what it does for the lines people. But
Well, and it just takes that whole judgment call out. You're not, which is nice. Just like the double touch in college, taking that away, and that's setters, will have they will cringe, they don't like it, but I had the coach from Oregon on, and he made a good analysis of it. He says basically, if quarterback's going to throw a wobbly duck, it's the odds of it either getting picked off or not getting caught. It's just like a set. If it's not a
yeah,
pretty set, it's good chance that your hitters aren't going to benefit from it.
that was Matt.
Yes, Matt Ulmer. Yeah.
He's so smart.
I think he gets that from his mom. I guess she's been coaching for like 20 years or something.
Oh yeah, in Long Beach.
No, in oh God, where he went to college. Basically, she was coaching the girls team. I can't remember the name of the college offhand, but it's like in the Midwest somewhere.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I associate him with Long Beach because
he
he
was
was out there for a
right.
while.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, good timeout.
Yes, they need this. They got to do something here. Stop the bleeding.
Might have called it a play or so before, but
Now, do you have a rule you go by when you call that timeout? If it's like 2 points, 3 points, that's like
yeah,
I gotta.
I try to stick to a 3 point swing. Um, Sometimes it's hard depending on like how early or when what's going on with the game, but I try to stick to that because I don't want to let the bleeding go.
Yeah.
Sometimes it depends because like if the TV timeout is coming up or media timeout. So when we had the CBS matches,
Mm-hmm.
we had media timeouts at 8 and 16.
Oh,
So
okay.
that was interesting. I think if we have timeouts that often, we should get rid of one of our timeouts. I think it ended up having too many timeouts. Like it was stop and go and stop and go. And it was such a bummer when you felt like you were getting in a
I
momentum of
was, yeah.
timeout. And it's like fine if a coach calls it, but the media ones, and
Right.
they were fast. They were 45 seconds. You don't even really walk off the floor. And
But it just is a momentum killer, possibly.
it is, especially from a server that might be back there and is really trying to like find their rhythm. And every serve, every time that you get to serve more than one ball, the next one gets more and more confident and aggressive. So to have that shut down by the media timeout is a bummer
Yeah.
sometimes. Well, good timeout.
Well,
All right, let's see if they can go on a run. This is Alicia Ogum's back to serve. Yeah. She's a USC grad.
oh, nice. And you spent some
Way
time there,
before
right?
me. Yeah, way before me.
Oh, there's that donut
Oh,
hole again. Campfire.
that's hard because the middle is back there playing defense, and typically libero might try to pick that off. But smart play by Jordan. She just impresses me every time she goes out on the floor.
Yeah. Oh, she's back row.
Yeah, back row. Because Jordan is the same age as me, and I can't imagine playing a full match of volleyball and walking the next day. So
Oh,
I'll tell you, Jordan has hit the ball so hard since she was a teenager. I played against her a couple times in club. She would never know who I was, but I of course knew who she was at the time. I was just a measly little DS on first alliance, and she came flying on this pipe, and I might have closed my eyes, but all I know was I dug it and we won the point, and we ended up winning the match. It was like a huge match for my team
yeah.
to the nationals. But I was like, I dug that girl that's going to Nebraska. but,
Oh,
but she was good way back then, and
yeah.
she's still now. So
Oh, man.
oh, this is turning into a little bit of a butt kicking.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I guess my theory of US might not be gelling together is completely wrong.
That's out
They
the window.
really in sync. Nothing. Canada's not making it very hard on them, but they got everything going their way right now.
Yep, absolutely. Which is a bummer because considering how well Canada played last week, you know? But again, this is how Canada started their first week. They with the loss, and then they rolled on after that. So, and again, it was it was in Brazil. They lost to Brazil's first match here. We're in Texas. It's the first match, so who knows?
That's true. Maybe this is like they're planning it this way.
Yeah,
That's why China is in that jersey.
which still doesn't make any sense. But hey, you know what? Oh man, everything's just going US's way.
Wow. Yeah.
This is the one thing I really enjoy seeing about what I saw in the PVF and what we see here. It's just the benches. Everybody's having fun. You know, you don't see that on the NBA or the WNBA. Yeah. I don't know why that is.
So you'll see the boxes, like the line, like
Yeah.
the boxes that they have to stay in. All right, sorry, I got distracted. That was, I mean, Canada plays hard. They don't stop playing.
Right.
So it's fun to see them compete. But anyway, you'll see the lines out. The players have to stay in those boxes. And I think that our officials in the PVF tried for like 2 matches to keep everybody in those boxes. And we're like, this is the US. Like these people like to celebrate. They like to run on the floor. I got my team doing like airplanes and everything. And it did not last very long that they have to stay in the box. They always have to return to the box.
Mm-hmm.
They could get out on the floor and they can celebrate. And shout out to Jen Spiker, our league CEO. She was like, "Oh no, we celebrate hard in America, so like we're gonna let those girls, those women,
Excellent.
yeah."
Because that's a part of the whole show too. You know, it's just is seeing that. You don't
Yeah,
want to see people look like not they're not having fun.
I think they get the crowd riled up.
Mm-hmm.
Like they get riled up. It also, I think, is educational for fans that don't know a lot about volleyball. Like it helps them figure out what a big kill might be or what
Mm-hmm.
a momentum point really does.
Yeah.
And so I think that was beneficial as well. Oh my gosh, they just can't.
Yeah. Nothing. They just started getting shut down everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
The
Yeah,
sad part is there's so many empty seats there.
it's it does. It looks bad.
Yeah.
Catherine said, "Nope,
No,
I got that."
that's not coming over. Nice kill.
Do that because China
Yep.
Joseph's libero. Can't get over that.
Right. You know, that's such a great point. It's like, yeah, you're just limiting so much by having Shine in that libero jersey.
China has a great serve too.
Mm-hmm.
Not her topspin. I will. I am very honest about that.
I was going to ask you about that, but I didn't want to. But now that you open the can of worms, when it's on, oh my God, it is so on.
That's China. When she's on, she's so on, and she it's she works so hard. Like when I tell you that she gets more reps than anybody else on the team, it's because she puts herself in the gym more than anybody else. The practice ends, she wants 30 more minutes of reps. We have a road game and we have a road practice. She wants to make sure that she's familiar with the gym. Like the girl reps it out more than anybody. Um, but that doesn't always translate to her being able to do it consistently.
Yeah.
And it took, I do think part of this was a symptom of our quick preseason. Like we only had 2 weeks to really get everything going before we played a match. And so I think she started the season out extremely high error. Her kill percentage was very low. Her serving was bad. She knows it.
Yeah.
But I really believed in her to turn it around. And so we made some adjustments and I sat her down and I said, "You're not playing. Like, you are not doing what we need you to do efficiently, and you're not getting the points that we need you to get. And so we're going to give somebody else a chance." And of course, she took that like most athletes do,
Yeah.
not well. But she took it well in the sense of, okay, I have a way to prove you wrong now, and I'm going to show up and do better. And she did. She continued to get better as the season went on. And the last third, I thought she put up some really, really good numbers. But
Yeah.
yeah, her serve when it's in, it's wonderful, and when it's anywhere 20 feet near the box, it's better. So
Yeah. And now, when do you, as a coach, when do you give that green light to to that one server who is like, okay, when she's on, you're getting a ton of points, but when she's off, you just, how do you balance that?
yeah, I think again that was another thing that it probably took me too long to figure out with this specific group. We had 3 topspin servers this year. Wilma Rivera, amazing lefty topspin. Adora, not always great movement, but brings a lot of heat and is a good point scorer. And then Shina's, which was a little bit more erratic. And I think it probably just took maybe even 2 weeks too long for me to go, we're already missing in other positions, like let's dial it back.
Yeah.
And to me, I tried to give her the green light. Wilma always has the green light because her serve is just so good. You don't ever want her to feel like she's got to dial it down.
Mm-hmm.
Adora is stubborn. So she's just going to do it because she wants to do it. And to her, that's what makes her feel confident.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to tell somebody, "Hey, why don't you float on this one?" I'm not trying to bust your confidence up. Like I want her to be the most confident out there. And then Shina's was I think I could have busted her confidence sooner.
Yeah.
Because she could have taken it and I would have said, this is what the team needs. Like, you're missing too much. We'll work on it on practice. And I didn't pull the trigger fast enough for
Yeah.
that one.
Okay. And then, staying on that subject of serving, at your level, at the professional level, are you telling the players, are you, telling them where to serve, or they're sort of, they've watched enough video, they know where they need to put the ball?
We always talk about it in scout. So we always give them a target, whether it's a person or a specific zone on the floor. But my team was good enough, I think, to remember what the scout was.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it was easy. It was, all right, we're only serving Barry for the entire game. Like, we're making that player do everything possible. So don't ever take the
Yeah.
pedal off on that one. And then they would miss, and I'd be like, do you remember who was supposed to serve? And they're like, yeah, I just missed, coach. I'm like, okay, well, don't miss next time. Like,
Oh.
serving libero. And that's my favorite part. Like, I'll go read like Twitter, and it was so fun to see there was like Reddit threads this year on the matches. And I don't really take things very personally. And so when people are like, why does the coach have them serving the libero? I'm like, what do you think that do you ever just think maybe they weren't capable of it not serving the libero that one time? Like, that does happen too. So it's funny to always read those.
Yes. Oh. Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in from a social media standpoint, because everybody's backseat driving and quarterbacking what you're doing and deciding decisions and everything.
Yeah, it is. I got a little taste of it at USC just because that school is such a brand and there's so many eyes on it, and the alum have opinions, the fans have opinions, the parents have opinions. You're always seeing something, or somebody's sending you something. But this year I think it was a little different because it's my decision making. And so it's yeah, sometimes it's tough. Like, people don't know what is going on in our gym, and I'm really lucky. I have great mentors. I have great friends who talk me through some of that stuff. And my favorite saying that was given to me this year is, well, they're couch coaches. And it's really easy to be a couch coach because you're not in the gym with your team every day, and you're seeing just what's on the screen and making assumptions. But like, stick with your gut, because the one that's in there all the time. And so I'm just really lucky that I have good people around me to not let me get too wrapped up in that or think about it. And also, like, I don't know, I really trust myself. So I know when I mess up, and I know when, hey, I think I did the right thing there and it just didn't work out. Like, happens too. And I think people have to kind of remind themselves, like, you're not always going to get the perfect result or the perfect answer. So that's just continuing to kind of remind myself of that.
Yeah. Actually, you bring up a good point about being, coaching at the professional level. No parents, no alumni. You're like, this is great.
Yeah, it was wonderful. No school, no tutor.
That's right. Yeah.
Nothing.
Nobody coming to you saying, this girl, she didn't pass this or that. She's got to sit or whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. So many times this year, I think I got asked a lot of the same questions over and over and again. And that was fine. But one of the big ones was like, what's the difference between college and pro? And just flat out time commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they are not distracted by having to go to class from 9 to 2, and then we only have these 3 hours where we can practice, and maybe they'll be able to squeeze individual film in, but maybe they have a tutor.
Yeah.
They have to go eat food because the dining hall is closing. Like, there's so many nuances that go into being a student athlete, and it's so hard. I think it just keeps getting harder because now it's like, hey, put this on your resume and be a part of this club, and the athletic department wants you to attend this event. It's really, really piling on. But this was, you show up for practice, and you show up for individuals, and you show up for weights, and you show up for film.
Yeah.
That is it.
And your life is, on your own after that. You can enjoy that.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing I really liked about Shina, seeing her personality away from the court. You know, she does so much on her socials, and she just looks like she has fun. She's enjoying life.
Yes. No other comment, just yes. she she is really a very special person. I think that she is genuinely who she is, no matter what company she's around. Like she could be with the president or she could be with a club team and she is still Shina. And I totally respect that. I love her for that. She must have great people in her life to help
Mm-hmm.
her that way. And I know she credits Mary and Dave at Florida a lot for accepting her for who she is and
Mm-hmm.
encouraging her to be herself. And so I think that she's a wonderful woman and gonna just be a great impact on a lot of lives.
Yeah. Excellent. All right, so we're in a third set. We need Canada to prolong this at least. Come on, pick up one win.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the first point, but the libero got aced for Canada on the
Mm-hmm.
very first point. So not how you want to start. Well, you
No.
can't serve Justine. Justine's gonna put it pretty perfect very often. I think her numbers in Brazil were something like 65% like perfect pass or
Oh
something.
wow.
Something crazy.
Yes,
She's
last person you want to put it to.
yeah.
Oh, nice one.
Oh,
Yeah, so because I've just started back into volleyball and college volleyball. I'm seeing like this, just seeing everything on Instagram and Twitter. All these colleges are like where they're in Japan, they're in Greece, Turkey. Is that something new in the last few years, or back when you were coaching college, you guys had those trips going on?
no, even when I played, we had those trips
Oh,
going on.
okay.
So, yeah, I was really lucky. My team at Alabama, we went to Budapest,
Wow.
um, Prague, and Slovenia. And so that was a really typical one back then. I think it's so cool. It Bring It USA does a lot of these tours,
Mm-hmm.
and now some companies in Turkey that have kind of set them up on their own, and it's so fun to watch those teams go over there. It's a really special experience. I
Oh, I
think just
bet.
yeah, like for your team to get to go and do that together, volleyball part's great too, but just
Yeah.
like to travel and see different cultures and um yeah, USC went to Brazil last June, so those have been going on for a while.
Okay. That is awesome. Awesome experiences for these players.
Yeah. And a lot of them will try to play over the summer too. So there's a couple teams that Bring It group puts together to bring overseas to play
Okay.
events. I got to do one of those. I was in Croatia and Italy for 10 days with a team, and they usually pick it from either the US Open tryout
Mm-hmm.
because they used to do a collegiate national tour. So the collegiate national team would actually go play overseas.
Oh, wow.
The Big Ten put a team together once. They brought them to China. So I don't know why some of those things have stopped, but there's still some like pickup teams
Yeah.
almost that get put together and go over. And same thing, it's really fun and it's cool to see college coaches in that environment
Mm-hmm.
because you're removed from the states. And I think like I always got to see those coaches in just a different environment. Like you're a
Yeah.
little more laid back. We can have like a glass of wine together or something.
Yeah.
It's not so stuffy all the time. So I always appreciated that.
Nice. And here we go. U.S. is taking that lead.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised Karch hasn't made any changes.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe in this third set he would throw somebody else in there because
Yeah.
they're up 2-0. But I guess if it's not broke, don't fix it.
True. Yeah. Yeah, that's
And they
true.
didn't get to play together last week. Like Jordan, is getting to play.
Mm-hmm.
We see Micah warming up here. Maybe she's always doing that. I don't know. I don't watch the bench that much.
Yeah, but you bring up a good point because they didn't get to play last week. They're running out of time. Not running out of time, but let's get them all gelling in a game situation.
Yeah, that middle position I think is pretty wide open. So Dana Chiaka, Asia, like they're all competing for a spot. So I'm sure if you were to ask them, they wouldn't want to be subbed off the
No.
floor. So two misses back to back. So Jordan missed and then Plummer missed. And that's a big no-no. Like you can't miss after somebody else misses, especially when they're just float serving.
Into the net.
And the net. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, sir. It's like even that ball by Justine, like that is somewhere in the pocket that Jordan can get her feet to the ball. Wow, there is 3 Jordans on the floor. Right. Yeah, Canada's middles, they just can't hang.
Nope. I'm just noticing on the U.S. jerseys. I don't know if the Canada's, Canada as well. Their names are up top, whereas on the PVF, you guys had your names down low, which I thought that was a good thing to do because of
their hair.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the volleyball is getting like roasted for not having cool uniforms.
Yeah.
The Nike US uniforms that came out for the Olympics, I don't think were very fun.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw all these releases for like the track uniforms and basketball, and volleyball is just like a Navy jersey.
Right. Yeah. It's like no thought went into that. Yeah.
Because I think they're Nike for the that must just be for the Olympics. Do they wear Mizuno? But no, that can't be.
No, I don't know.
I don't know either. That's my next research topic. Oh, that was an uncommon error.
I know Canada, their sponsor for clothing is Lululemon.
Oh.
So nobody in Canada is going to be buying T-shirts to support, because
it's going to be $80.
It's going to be like 80 US, 120 Canadian to get a US or a Canadian Olympic T-shirt. Out.
Oh, she is so frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not close. I want to say that the US has kind of applied this pressure to Canada, and that's why they're hitting it out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
But they've been kind of high error since the very first set.
They're flat. They're not accurate. Yeah, there's, I don't know, something's missing. A spark or... And the U.S. is just digging everything up too, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, that's a ridiculous dig. Justine going all the way in that 4-4, and now Catherine's in that corner. So she can't score on the go ball.
Oh, this is a great rally. Oh, and then the U.S. just shuts them down in the middle.
Oh.
Nice to see Asia playing too.
It is, and I was just gonna say, I love that they're giving her the shove, like good job, like giving them a little bit of. She's not technically a rookie because she played last year, but she's definitely the youngin of the group. Yeah. And they did the same to Maddie Skinner last week too. She looked like she just fit right in. I know it's because she's known these girls for so long, and it's not hard to get along with them, but man, she was in the system really easily. And then that scores. The falling away shot.
Yeah. Oh.
If this is what the crowd looks like for the U.S. to be playing,
it's going to be empty for everything else.
Yeah.
I like just watching I think it was some of the men's matches. They were like not still not Poland when Poland played at their home. The stadium was full, but like this is U.S. and you don't have it's a prime time opening night. Canada and U.S. Yeah.
I feel like there's a rivalry between
Oh, you
Canada
would
and
absolutely. Being from Canada, absolutely, because you're like the big brother to us. It's like, we everything that happens down here, and I make fun of like my when we're at home or whatnot. Like they're copying what's happening in the U.S. and it's just like, yeah, we want nothing more than to beat the U.S. and but yeah,
all right,
because
you
you took
said
our
it,
hockey
not
away from
me, so
us.
I can go off of that. So you allowed it. You admitted it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's like Auburn to Alabama,
Okay. Yep.
the little brother.
Yeah.
Do you watch softball?
Not not a lot. No. A couple of years ago, I watched the championships or whatever because my daughter was playing a little bit of softball, and it was so much fun to watch and entertaining.
It's really fun. The reason I brought it up because Alabama is going to the World Series,
Yeah.
and they were in that is a fast offense. Holy cow! Sorry, just looking at the peak of the ball, I was like, there is no peak. It's so flat. But they played Tennessee in their regional final to get to the College World Series. And during the course of SEC play, Tennessee had not lost a series, and Alabama, like to anyone in the SEC, and Alabama had not won a series against anyone
Oh
in the
wow.
SEC, and they beat them two out of three to advance. So it was really special for that Alabama team and just
Nice.
but they are softball's fun, college softball's fun. Oh, like
We may get a game out of this. We'll see. Oh, and then they just go pound it. Yep.
yeah, it's too chaotic and disorganized on Canada's side.
Yep.
And they really, I mean, in the middle of that rally, they kind of stopped playing. That one girl just was that Maglio? Oh no, Mitrovic. She just kind of came in and saved that one ball. I'd have liked to seen Retke play against Brazil
Mm-hmm.
because that fast offense having two really strong pins on Brazil and seeing if Retke would have been able to close some of those
Yeah.
blocks. I know she gets caught up sometimes and people think she's a little bit slower than maybe Asia or Haley and Chiaka, but I would have
There we
liked to
go.
see that.
Finally, they put something down in the middle.
Nice. No, it's a nice
Nothing's
speed.
prettier though than that back row attack. You see that's just one of the prettiest things to see I think in volleyball.
Yeah, I really liked watching Avery Skinner run them last week. She is like full speed, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what, giving full trust to her setter. Oh, she is not happy with all those missed serves.
No, how can you? Yeah. Did they get a touch? They did get a
Yeah, good
touch.
swing.
You'll have to ping Shine and ask her later on what was the logic on the libero.
I'm sure she'll tell me. But even, I mean, you talked about earlier, like Canada's such a fun team. The bench doesn't even look like they're having
No,
that much. A lot easier to have fun when you're winning.
it
So
is absolutely.
touch.
We'll see. Oh,
Oh, green
green
card.
card. Yep. uh, Neat concept. You get enough green cards, you can win some money for the team.
Yeah, I liked it. And it's like, hey, why waste our time with
Right.
going to the video booth? Just move on.
Karch never looks like he's having fun, does he?
Maybe he's just that stoic. He is never happy and he's never sad.
So I'm old, so I remember when Karch was playing in the Olympics with Steve Timmons, and oh man, those were the old
Was that
days.
80s? Was that in the 80s?
Yeah, that was in the 80s. Yep.
86?
80 was it 84, 86? When was
4?
it the LA
Yeah.
Olympics? Yeah. And then there was that whole, when he was playing the AVP after that, and that was a
Yeah.
heyday for beach.
I know the AVP I thought was going to get some momentum
Mm-hmm.
going again these past few years, and they haven't really been able to get going. They're such fun events. I
Yep.
don't know if they don't translate on TV or what it is, but like going to them is really really fun.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know how their marketing is. Manhattan Beach is easy because everybody's just down there, so that one was
Right.
always cool. But
Yeah, up here it used to be, Belmar in New Jersey was such a great event. Years, we're talking decades ago, but still, it was like you see, like exactly said, it was a fun time. It's just great environments.
who can complain when it's volleyball, the sun, and
Yeah, and the beach. Yeah.
although Chicago, and not that it's the ocean, but Chicago does it on North Shore,
Mm-hmm.
right on Lake Michigan, and that always, I mean, people show out for that one. So same thing. I mean, it's just so fun,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's outside. It's good vibe. It's more of
Yeah.
like a not a laid back sport, but it's easy to enjoy.
Yeah. And then also with a good announcer getting a crowd into it too, from a beach standpoint, absolutely.
Was that? I think that was Shannon's last time out.
It's a long way to go now.
Yeah. I was not expecting a sweep, if I'm being honest.
No. Well, we're still within 1 point, so don't jinx it. We'll see. They just executed a good middle, and right after the timeout. Now, as long as they don't put it into the net, we'll call this a success. Oh, there we go. All right, tie game. We haven't had a tie
Nice.
game late in the last two sets, so we'll see.
How did that end up all the way in the corner? And Justine is,
She's laid out trying to just get her hands on it.
yeah, Jordan's like, sorry, sorry, sorry.
She hit that
All right,
hard.
opportunity.
Bring it back. Nope.
It's a tough rotation for the US because Jordan Thompson's over there hitting on the
Mm-hmm.
outside. And I think that might be her first kill over there. She has not been too successful. Yeah, just hit it at the middle. They usually don't play defense.
Poor old middles. Oh,
I know they get such a bad rap.
they do. Oh, great kill.
Yeah.
We just need
And
a
that's a
just need a
good,
run.
yeah, that's a good pass by Alicia Ogums, like knowing that that short ball is coming to her. A lot of middles will pull it off the net too much, but keeps them right in system. And that line has been open. Maybe we don't get the end line view, so it's hard to see what the sets are doing, but it's a great shot. All right, another opportunity. Oh, don't send a free ball back.
I know. Oh,
Need swings.
nothing takes the wind out of the sails than when you just got to freaking volley it over to the other side.
Yeah. Especially when you feel like that's what you've been doing the whole
Mhm.
game.
Down the line again. That is an open spot. You called it.
Sometimes those swings, like you don't have to hit them 100%. You can 80%
Mm-hmm.
that ball just to the corner with pace. It's hard to read, and I think Alexa Gray does a great job of coming across her body to not give it away too much either.
Yeah.
Oh, nice dig by
Oh my
Nicole.
God, she teed up on that thing.
Touch.
Has to be a touch the way that thing was going out. I guess not.
She has been, I think, completely scared of Dana Redke in front
Mm-hmm.
of her. I think it's changed how she is swinging.
She's in her head.
All right, another good pass. Where has that passing been all game? But good slowdown. Oh, jeez. That was
There
bad
we
by
go.
you.
Use the block.
Nice. I don't know why I'm cheering for Canada.
You know, Bree did such a great job last week setting. Oh my God. For the
It's so
bad
good.
passing she was given, she did amazing.
Yeah. We actually just got some of our contracts finalized for players outside of the PVF
Yeah.
about a week ago, and we were gonna reach out to her, and we were about nice dig by Gray. We were about a week late. She had just re-signed with a new team, but all right, here's a break.
There we go. This is the first time they've had a lead.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll see if they can do something with it. And now, speaking of the PVF for next season, what is is your team set for next year, or what was the first season like? Did everybody just sort of on 1 year contracts, and we'll see what happens?
Yeah, everyone's on 1 year contracts. So this year we actually can offer multi-year, which is great. I don't know how many coaches are going to want to take the risk and do it. I think that there are some players in this league that definitely deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just nice to have that option. But everybody becomes a free agent, and
Oh
that
wow.
starts June 1st. So to protect the new teams that are joining, so Kansas City, Indianapolis, and Dallas, to protect them a little bit, we're not allowed to re-sign our current
Oh,
players
okay.
until they have an opportunity to talk to them as well and like put some packages together for them. So
Nice.
that starts June 1. I would love to be able to re-sign my team right now, but we can't.
Yeah.
But we can sign players from outside of the PVF.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I
Right
think
there.
that we'll start seeing a little bit more of that happen in the next few weeks since we have those contracts and can actually offer them out.
Nice. Oh, huge block. So PVF is going to be having 10 teams next year.
Yeah, 10 teams
Excellent.
next year. And hopefully we get to 12 the year after that. I know that there was a lot of interest this year. And like we talked about earlier, the
Yeah.
production and the fans were so great. I think it just continued to kind of prove the point that the momentum and the ball was going in the right direction. More teams wanted to join for next year, but what we found this past season, was, I mean, it's not rocket science. We started so late that some of those arenas weren't available, which got us in those predicaments with some of the scheduling.
Yeah.
And I guess the league and the board of directors that they have now said, we're going to cut it at 10. Everybody start working on your arenas, and we'll move on to more teams later. But like, let's not be adding teams in July and August and then trying to wrap up all of these arenas and get a schedule done
Right.
again.
Yeah. Because
And
you.
just the talent diluting the league also. Like we want good players.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, game point.
Oh. Well, they got another extra point. Yeah, and I can say this as a fan. I wasn't excited to see a second league starting up. I just think that's just I don't know. Just not a fan of it.
Yeah, I keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, I know, but it just dilutes it. It's the way I look at it is like when the XFL was competing with the other football league, and now they came together. It's like it's just you've got women's volleyball is such a good momentum going. Why you have two teams in the same city at the
Yeah,
same time?
definitely. I think at some point, they're both not going to last forever. Everybody knows that. I don't predict a merger in any way, shape, or form. I think they're too different. Their concepts are different. Their
Mm-hmm.
business models are different. Um, and I'm just happy that there's enough interest that there are two leagues,
Yeah.
and will work themselves out. And I just keep telling myself, like, make your team better. I think our league is awesome. I think our league is going to be successful. And so just kind of keep relying on what's in front of me and being great where my feet are.
Yeah.
And everything will kind of work itself out. So they have great talent. They have great coaches. It's totally different. I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
Yeah. And you got great
I'll never
executive
say, I
leadership
guess
too.
yeah, I guess what I'll say is I will never say anything bad about another league because I love the sport too much.
Yeah.
Like, I can't be a hater on more women getting to play volleyball.
In the States, absolutely.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, we got one win. Canada got a win. We're going longer.
all right. So, US in 4.
All right, hang on.
I think they kind of gave that one away a little bit.
They were up 3
that was-
points.
that alone. Wow. Canada still made more errors.
Now we'll see if this is a spark that Canada can, thrive off of this.
That hat looks like it's in Texas.
I was just gonna say, or Alabama.
Hey,
Sorry.
Texas is big. Alabama is just country. We don't do stuff like. I'm not from there. I don't really claim Alabama except to school. So, I like that they do these win probabilities. I don't know if people are betting on volleyball.
Oh, people are betting on everything. Yeah, like this web, the website where you can go and look at the stats and real time score. There's a whole betting thing going on too, and also the VNL has a fantasy thing going on too, like a fantasy league with volleyball, which I didn't know you had either.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Also, not being in the NCAA means I can bet on sports. I don't. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't even know where to start, but I think it's funny. Oh, you're in the NCAA. You can't bet on any of the sports. Like,
Oh. So as a coach, you can't bet on anything. Oh wow, that's crazy.
No coaches, players can't either. Referees can't.
Yeah.
So it's they try to crack down on it. I think the Alabama baseball coach got in trouble for that last year. Yeah. I don't know what he was betting on.
I don't know. They opened up that whole can of worms, and now you can't even track who's betting on it. Like, basketball. Yeah, it's a
How
kind of
are
a
you
mess.
supposed to find that out? Yeah.
Right.
I have no clue.
Or hey, let me call my buddy and place a bet, and it's like, I don't know.
Like Atani's
the pitcher.
Yeah.
Yep.
His agent? Was it his agent?
His agent,
his
yeah.
Translator or something.
That's what it was. Yeah, it was the translator.
My translator was betting my money.
Yeah.
I'm not really calling a bluff, but I'm kind of calling a bluff.
Oh.
I just wonder if he won. Did they ever say? Like,
I didn't hear. No. Oh. All right, so we're going to see any substitutions, do you think, on the U.S. side?
No, it doesn't look like it.
Oh.
Starting the same.
So I'm taking my daughter. We're heading up to the VNLs in Ottawa for the men's side next weekend, which should be fun.
You told me that.
Yeah.
You have had Shoji on your podcast.
Yeah, I've had Micah on as well. Cody Kessel is on, and he just played over in, I don't know where they went, wherever they were last week. He got hurt, unfortunately, but he was, with the babies. Cody Kessel, he got his ankle hurt last week.
Did?
Yeah, and that's why.
Turkey game.
Yeah, or during the I don't know if it was the final match or the second final match.
That was their last. Well, Turkey was their last match. I thought he had played. Wow. Well, that is a bummer because I feel like he was playing great.
Oh, he was. Yeah. Super nice guy.
Oh, now the U.S. is starting to look like they're scrambling a little bit. All it takes is just a little bit of confidence. I mean, volleyball is such a momentum game.
Yeah, it's huge.
We're seeing just more and more teams like come back from being down 0-2 and finding a way. And then you get to the fifth set and you just never know what.
You don't. Yeah, it's rolling the dice.
It could be anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one thing since starting this podcast, having people like you and Eric and just all levels of professionals and college players, all have been fantastic people. Like just there's I just like you top players, top coaches, and just humbling, appreciative people that just love the sport. It's just awesome to see.
I think volleyball is filled with good people.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if it's going to change. I'm going to get a little bit soapboxy here. But it used to be a sport that was available to everybody. It was always a little bit expensive, but it's getting really, really bad. And it's a shame because as the sport grows, you want to be able to grow the game along with making it accessible
Mm-hmm.
to everybody. And I get sports like hockey is so expensive because your equipment is so expensive. You're always having to like repurchase things. But why are we charging $7,000 for a player to play club volleyball?
Yeah.
That seems outrageous to me. And it's not just $7,000. That
It's the
now it's
travel.
flight. Now it's tournaments. You're playing in more tournaments, so you have to go more places. And that worries me a little bit because you know, the more expensive things get, sometimes the more diva everybody gets.
Right. Yeah.
I think we have really humble beginnings in volleyball, and it's like you said, so many good people in it.
Yeah.
And I hate the sport to change that way. And I don't know. I hope there are some changes in the future. I know a lot of coaches have talked about shortening the club season, and
Yeah.
so many people advocating for making tournaments shorter, cutting out some games, finding a way to keep these kids bodies healthy,
Mm-hmm.
cutting the cost down. And it's going to take people that are willing to do that and don't just care about money too much
Yeah.
and want to run a great club, and they can. And but it's going to be a choice. So
Yeah, because you and also the athletes, they need some time to recover. You're going from high school. They don't stop 4 or 5 practices a week. That ends. Then they in the club, depending on how well you do, you're going into June or July. Then maybe if you're a senior going to college, you're starting in a couple of weeks. Where is recovery and just
yeah.
mental side of that too?
Yeah, and with how many camps players do
Yeah.
now, it's you stop nationals. I mean, I've done it. I have coached the camp that is 2 days after nationals. I have hosted that camp because nationals was in our backyard, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like make your way to our school, make sure you don't miss it. And it's just there's no rest physically, mentally. We're seeing burnout at such a earlier age. I mean, there's already so many mental health issues also, and
Yeah.
I just yeah, I think we need to cut back a little bit.
Yeah, it's a truly a year-round sport. And the kids don't want to miss out because the other kid is doing the privates and everything else along with that, but they don't want to get left behind, or the parents don't want them to be left behind. It's you need some time.
Yeah, you have a daughter that plays sports. I mean, what
Oh,
do you say to her when she wants to do more, or like
right,
I don't
you
know.
want to support her, and like she has this drive, she wants to keep going. It's like, how do you don't want to quell that or squish this, so you feel like, okay, but like she last fall she played varsity and JV, so she was all that practices. And as a freshman, she how was I going to say no, you don't go to varsity? You're it's like, you can't. It's like,
Yeah, you can't do that.
no. Yes. It's like, oh my God, she'd be so mad at me. It's like my oldest. My oldest was a big reader, and she was like 13 into the seventh Harry Potter book. I was like, I was like, I know it's bad, but she wants to read it so bad. I got to let you read it.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, yeah. That was just, sidebar. She was like, I think, because she got into Harry Potter after all the books had been out, and she just started going through them. It's like, when the books first came out, there was a full year between every book. And it's like, nope. So she was like 13, and 6 and 7 of the Harry Potter books got pretty dark.
Yeah. I actually just watched all of the movies
Mm-hmm.
like 6 months ago. So never I read the first book because I was that was in like eighth grade when it came out. So I was like, oh, book report. I'm doing Harry Potter. And I got into the first one. I thought it was great. Second one, I think I lost all the interest. I was too busy with sports. And just last year, Ahen and I started watching all of them. And then I got the Harry Potter game on Xbox.
Yeah.
And it's like my favorite game ever.
Nice.
So big Harry Potter fan
Nice.
now.
Well, next season, when you're on the road, do the audiobooks and get them when there's Stephen Fry is doing them, because there's music, there's his, it makes it such a different experience than just trying to read it. Cause yeah,
That's so cool.
yes.
I think that, so I'm going back to the game a little bit here. Canada, whether it took them a whole 2.5 sets to figure it out, I think they're finally making some defensive adjustments. Like
Yeah.
that hasn't hasn't fell in a while. So I'd love to see the US start mixing it up, start challenging them deep down the line, going off hands a little bit more. Because Canada looks like they're all over it now.
Yep. They're running. They're running on all cylinders right now, which is good to see from a Canada aspect.
Still can't pass.
No, that was a really bad pass.
Oh, she wants that one back.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime the ball, like anytime you body up the ball well enough and you make that read and you can't bring that back into the court, you're just so disappointed with yourself.
Yeah.
You're like, I was there.
I had that.
Yeah. I wish they put a few more individual stats up. Like I would really like to know what some of the individual players are attacking. They need to find that middle more. She's got to be up there in efficiency, especially the last set. That gap ball is really giving the U.S. some problems.
Well, I think just a good gap ball is such a hard thing to defend.
It is. You either have to commit on it or you just have to have your defender all the way over on that your seam between 1 and 6. But
Yeah.
it is. If you're in system and you're in tempo, and you're not up at the same time as that hitter, it's hard to stop.
Ooh.
That is not defendable.
Nope. Yeah, there's that borderline of you see these guys. I guess it's more on the guys doing the dunks. Those are cringy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that one's pretty close. I mean,
Yeah.
she's turning it and moving it. The two-handed dumps, they crack me up though.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I didn't see many of them score during the VNL last week, so I was thankful for that. Gosh, everyone's gonna start doing it. Chaussee does it a little bit in our league, and
Yeah.
she's up there and she just kind of goes with it. Oh, that was very uncharacteristic of us.
Karsh is like, what happened there?
What just happened?
Ooh. Somebody got confused or
just
missed.
Just a bad set.
Yeah.
I think Jordan she overdid it. I feel like Canada is winning this set, even though they're not on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that she went right back to her. She's like, I got you.
Now, with your, during the course of a game, are you on top of who's got the hot hand from a hitting standpoint, and are you telling the setter, or are you letting the setter run the show?
A little bit of both. So I always tell them that they have a better feel out there than I do because they're on the floor. But statistically, during timeouts, I will bring the tablet over to them and say, all right, here's who's hitting this set, like just an FYI. And we get as specific as going in first ball, this is who you should be setting. In transition, go find this person. They're doing well. So it's a little bit of a combination.
Oh, crush that.
That was nice by Jordan. She's just really impressing me. I don't want to say like I doubted that she was going to look as good as she did, but she hasn't played because she didn't go play overseas
Right.
this
She
fall.
coached last year, right?
Yeah, she coached this fall and she's been really big and just saying, I'm staying home, I'm taking care of my body, I'm making sure I'm in really good shape. And I I mean, I guess it makes sense. She's a veteran. She doesn't need to play 6-on-6 all the time. Like clearly knows what she's doing
Yes.
out there. So I'm just really impressed with her work ethic and that she continues to be able to hang against like the top teams
Mm-hmm.
worlds. It's so cool.
I'm surprised Canada hasn't called a timeout, actually. Or we're going to see one now.
I was gonna say, see, I don't know why she got called on that, but Plummer didn't get
Right.
called on hers. I would definitely call a timeout now too because that looks exactly the same and
Yeah.
no one's complaining about it. I think Jordan was even like, "What?" Like,
Right. See, the ball never lies. That's it there.
yeah. But I was saying I feel like she could have or should have called a timeout because Canada's been really emotional
Mm-hmm.
this match and two errors in a row like that I think could really get under their skin a little bit and so try to stop that kind of mind going into places you don't want it to go
Yeah.
sooner than later.
Almost looked like there was no block
Wow.
on that one.
I don't think she did that on purpose. Just based off of her face, not because she did anything else. That's a great shot. Why did she go like this? I looked totally good.
Oh, bad pass. Oh, nice save. Oh, what's the
May or
net
not.
touch?
Oh, Plumber's saying it's her hair. Let's see if we get a challenge. All right, got to show you have your team's back sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Now, what was your percentage on wins and losses for your challenges? Is that a stat you guys kept?
No, but I wonder. I wonder. It actually was probably pretty good. Probably near like 50-50, I
Oh,
would
wow.
think. Yeah. I came up with some like magical ones every once in a while too. I don't know how. We were at Vegas and it was match point for us or set point and Cat Bell hit a back row attack and scored and I was like challenge 3 meter line violation and I literally only did it to like slow the game
Uh-huh.
down. I was like, it was close. So like at least it'll take them a minute to review. And she ended up being on the line and we won the set because
Oh,
of that.
shoot.
Yeah, so that was a good one for me. But we also had a couple, and this is a question that we're working with Bolt Six on, is there were 2 times this year where, oh, let's see if
Yeah,
now
hair
I
touch.
saw Plumber's hair. Yep. Um, there were 2 times this year where we had challenged, I think, like a block touch and got the no block touch call back to us. And then they replayed it on the big screen, and you just see the finger go like that. And I'm sitting there like, if we're all seeing it, how do the 40 camera views that Bolt 6 have not see that?
Right.
And so we were told at least that like they have so many more angles than us that sometimes it might look like it on the one angle that they
Oh, okay.
replay of. But like that's a thing that they're trying to iron out. We couldn't challenge back row touches.
Oh,
So
okay.
defender hit the ball or there was a time that Vegas was full of crazy challenges apparently when in Vegas where a Johnny Teeler had a massive stuff block in the fifth set and it hit the back of the head
Yeah.
of attacker, no call. So because they didn't call touch, we can't challenge that.
Oh,
Yeah. So, and they can't do that at the VNL either, which I was incredibly surprised by because
right.
our staff call and I was like, oh, but they can challenge back row attacks or back row touches. And our head ref was like, no, no, they can't. And I was like, dang it. So that one was tough because I thought there was some times that the refs missed, but the reason for it was they didn't want any inconclusives.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
they only want to be able to show you video of a for sure thing.
yeah.
And with where the cameras are located for Bolt 6, you don't always get that defender view. Maybe you'll get their kneecap or
Right.
something, but like you're not always getting their platform. So they didn't want any of the inconclusives.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Man, Canada just cannot get in system. But I
No.
love that swing from a bump set. That
That's
takes
confidence.
some, what.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, realistically, that should have been blocked. It went through this tiny little
I
seam.
know. Yeah, it
You
should have been a
missed it.
touch at least. Oh, and then she just
Oh,
crushes that thing.
I hope they show the end line. Both blockers jumped with Retke, and Plummer was one on nobody.
Nobody there. Yep.
Yep, open net. See ya.
Wow.
She doesn't get very emotional, huh?
No, very very stoic. Yeah, with that missed block, do you think she was looking for the gap set that she was going to block in the middle,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah, the right front, Bree King jumped with that middle, and kind of the rule of thumb that we always tell anybody that's playing right front is you're the secondary blocker to the gap. So unless we have a commit block call, don't jump until you know that set is happening. And that means you're not going to get a stuff block. Like
right.
we already know that, but your goal should just be to try to get fingertips, something on there, create a seam for the defender to be behind or in, and then try to get a touch on it. Don't ever jump just because you see him in that zone.
Yeah.
No touch on that one.
All right. This could be a shift here if Canada doesn't put it into the net.
Make Plummer play.
Oh, here we go. See, even that free ball pass was just not where it should have been. That was low and
I agree. The setter's in the front row. Put it on the net. Let Bree jump.
exactly.
Take out that middle.
Yeah.
So if you notice, Alexa Gray's swings all went line. So that block is starting to shift line. Jordan's starting to step right on middle back a little bit. And now that corner is open. So we'll see if she keeps attacking there or if the U.S. just go back to normal and don't give up that corner.
Yeah. Canada's battle back now. Got a tie game.
I like the numbers that they put there because you can kind of see how they chipped away.
Right. Yep.
A little bit.
Now, over this past season, what was of course, playing at home is always fun. What else? What was a fun court to play at?
Oh, I really liked Columbus's arena. I thought they had great crowds. The ambiance of the gym, like the lighting and their screens were really nice to be in also. So like the eye lines were good. Omaha was great just because of how many people were there. And I think, gosh, out of the timeout too. That's
into the net. Yep.
Into the net. Yeah. And Vegas, like put on a show. Like they have like smoke coming out of the scoreboard and like lasers going off. Like I was like, this might be so much, but they do it for the hockey game there. So they have the Golden Knights play in that arena, and it was fun. The music is really loud.
Oh, you guys played in the same arena as the Golden Knights?
Yes.
Nice.
It was called the Dollar Loan Arena, but the name changed midway.
Okay.
Family Forum, or the Lee's Family Forum. I want to say it seats right under 5,000. Really great, like intimate environment. Nice. Good crowds there. It's easy for it to be loud because it's a little bit smaller.
Oh,
US not letting it go easy.
they found the
Oh,
hole.
this is one of those rallies that is so deflating to Canada because it's like everything that you're doing right on your side doesn't matter
Right.
because junk ball comes over and scores, or
Yeah.
you got that great serve trickle tape ball and they pancake and get a swing out
Mm-hmm.
of it. And it's just really hard for Canada to, that one was good, but it's hard for them to score real points right
Yeah.
now. And that just mentally gets draining.
Because off of that bump set, that could have easily been blocked, and then just again, just a more of a momentum killer for Canada. But
More in rhythm. Yep.
right, yeah, rhythm. That's the word I was looking for.
This is the Alexa Gray show, though, so they should just give her every ball. Nice serve.
Wow. You know, and they
That's
don't look like it's a tough serve, but that thing is probably moving, and yeah. Oh God. Yep.
yeah, right. And that seam is going to be something that the U.S. if it's going to be Plummer and Larson on the floor, they're going to have to iron that out because that's going to be a huge. We call it a gold mine.
Okay.
Um, when you're between two outsides because like the gold mine, you got to make one of them play. Either the pass to attackers got to go, or Plummer is going to have to learn how to play that ball a little bit better. And I know that she's not super comfortable being the main serve receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So the US is going to really try to iron some of those things out so they can't get too exposed. Wow, just is just not her game. You know, that's
No.
a error that she doesn't typically make.
One on one and
Yeah.
just wailed
What
on
are,
it.
what are you going for there?
Mm-hmm.
Unless unless it was tight, but it didn't look too tight.
Oh, nice dig.
They're hanging in
Oh,
there.
huge block. Now on that
That looks
free
like a
ball,
tough set.
on that
Yeah.
free ball Canada put over, where where are you? Where as a player are you looking to put that? Because everybody's on such a high level. You know, they threw it up high into the middle. What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, they tried to go over to the right side of the court. I mean, I know Justine took the ball, but she basically takes the entire court when free balls come over.
Yeah.
So I'd actually like to see them try to like move her deep
Yeah.
every once in a while just to pull the pass off the net, pull Poulter off the net,
Mm-hmm.
keep them from going as in tempo as they want. But it's also very standard to just go put the ball in right back. It's harder for a setter to run
Yeah.
offense from there. So I think either two of those options are good.
Yeah.
With fast offenses, I don't love the short ball because it just is coming back at you faster. If
Exactly.
if you're sending a free ball over, it's because you're scrambling on your side of the net.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, because now you're giving them a short pass. You're still trying to get back in place to block it, and yeah, you're even more off your feet.
I love the high balls, like to just chuck it up as high as you can.
Yeah. Oh, there's a good kill. All right.
All right, that's what she needs.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
A little confidence builder.
actually, don't is it Van Rick or Van Ryk?
I think it's Van Ryk.
Van Ryk.
RYK, I think. Oh, nice. Oh, nice.
Oh, good save by
Yeah,
Poulter.
and then they hit it out.
Nice middle out of system ball though there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Challenge? I mean, I think you got two left, right?
You don't.
So
Yeah, you're running out of points here. You never know.
no, she's not going to do it. I think it's too late.
Oh,
No, she got it in. Okay. I think you just do it no matter what. I think she has two left. 2020 feels a whole lot better than
it does.
1921.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And that was close. I love how goofy or uncomfortable they get when the camera is.
No touch.
Oh,
Oh.
just
All right. Well, it was a shot.
she cannot find her rhythm.
No. And she was kind of that way that first match against Brazil too. So I don't know. Maybe she's just out of rhythm right now. And
Well, if they make it to the Olympics, there's no time for getting
no,
one game in under your belt.
no. Oh. And speaking of the Olympics, I had Kirsten Booth on, and she was telling me about one of her former players who's going to be playing beach for the U.S. And I think you
Very
have a
close. Yeah. Yeah. She was at Creighton. She played at Creighton for Kirsten when I was at Villanova in the Big East.
yeah.
And she was an exceptional indoor player. Like, I know when she announced that she was going to LSU for beach, I was like, beach? Like, what? You have such a great career ahead of you indoors. I thought it was a little bit crazy, but I think she worked her butt off in the sand. Obviously, she's going
Mm-hmm.
to the Olympics. But to be able to be, I think she's 6'4",
Oof.
and just to be as fluid as she has gotten in the sand and mobile, and I mean, she's awesome out there. And her defender, Kristen Nuss, I think Nuss is her name. I don't know how to pronounce it. She's the small in that one, and so
Yeah.
she's a gritty defender and the shot maker, and they've got a pretty special thing going on there. So I'm so glad that Kirsten is going to watch them
Nice.
play. I think that's going to be so special.
Yeah. Yeah. Like at the base of the Eiffel Tower, which is pretty cool. Oh, huge
Yeah, how
rock.
much cooler does a view get than that?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I just saw that this past year there was a girl that transferred. She was a senior and she transferred somewhere and won the beach championship. It was like, yeah, like
Oh, yeah, Molly Phillips. She won at Texas and then transferred to USC and
the beach.
won the beach. Pretty cool. I know there's been a couple D2 programs that have
Mm-hmm.
done that. I think Tampa is one of those schools that has done that. But it's pretty cool to see Molly do that. I know she wasn't in the lineup for USC, but
Mm-hmm. But still,
that place, yeah, I mean, top to bottom, every player is important on that beach roster, and I know Dane would say the same thing. So it's pretty awesome feat.
yeah.
I thought maybe Canada would steal one there.
Yeah. No.
Your favorite two-handed set came
Mm-hmm.
over. Oh, my husband just got home. Hi, Ahen.
Hello.
Yeah, he just crept in through the things.
What was Philip doing? He didn't even make a noise.
I guess not. So he must not find him to be an intruder. Oh, Asia O'Neal, one of the best defending middles I've ever seen. She
Mhm.
always comes up with a dig somehow. All right, I called it. Four
Yeah, you did. 3-1.
set.
Yeah, 4 set.
Although I just won't count Canada out after how they played last week.
I don't
So,
know. It's tough. If this was old school scoring where you had this, but rally, it's tough to come back from 4 on game point.
look at Haley Washington on the bench, just having the time of her life. Well, it doesn't even look like the crowd is really into it.
No, that's so disappointing.
Smothering the net.
Oh, what a dig.
Nice. I like the libero change. They had someone else. They had the other player play libero last week. I like this one. All right, get a swing off. That's a nothing swing. Oh, what a rally. I love that Alexa Gray just gathered and tried to take a swing at that. Not much you can do when Retke gets the ball on the
No,
gap.
no.
What a great last rally.
That
for
was,
game.
yep, absolutely. But again, like the crowd, like look around. There's not many people there. It's yeah, I don't
Really
know.
bad.
Yeah. Oh, well, it was entertaining. At least we got Canada got one set.
Yeah.
So, well, Amy, thank you for doing this. It was hopefully you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, and maybe we'll do this again.
Of course. I watch like every game. So
Excellent.
and women's beach. So I'm a volleyball nerd. I love it. I keep learning more about the sport too
Mm-hmm.
every time we're watching something, and I'm excited for this US team. I'm excited for Canada too.
Yeah.
I am cheering for them. Hopefully China will not be in the libero jersey.
Yeah, yeah. If you hear anything about that, let me know why. It was a
I will
peculiar.
I will definitely report back to you. I'll figure it out. So thanks for having me, Barry.
No problem.